He says, Adam, he asked, who is the best beast hunter and non-beast hunter in your opinion?
Out of anybody in the world, or
I don't know, maybe the best beast hunter.
You know, if you're actually talking of the people I know that hunt our style, I would say nowadays it's looking like you, Josh.
No,
So,
you know who I think the guy that probably deserves that title is probably Andy May. That guy, he kills
he's a killer. Yeah,
he
he's a
kills
killer.
4, and I mean I think he hunts pretty well, like we hunt. You know,
Yep.
he kills 4 or 5 bucks a year, and he's done that for I think they said he's
That's why
like
I kind of said
70.
in our circle kind of thing, or because he's
Yeah,
kind of out of our circle. He used to be on the site quite a bit and stuff back in the day, but nowadays I don't hear from him much.
I guess here's what I think of this question. I think of like public land hunter that doesn't have his own property and all that, and then I think of guys like Lee Lakosky and Mark Drury is like a non beast. I guess that's in my mind where I went.
You go back far enough. I like Miles Keller.
Yeah,
he did what I'm doing now back in the day, you know.
Yeah,
and he really knocked it out of the park. Non-beast hunter, jeez, you know, I like Tim Wells. I don't know about him being the best hunter. He's on a really cushy land for deer, but I just like his style. He's fun to watch. But I think I think a lot of people might not like hearing this from me, but I like Mark Drury a lot. I think the guy is knowledgeable.
I was getting ready to say that. And also, people don't realize this, but like when him and his brother were first getting into filming, like they have a lot of kills on public land, like too. Like a lot of those early deer hunts you see of them were on public land.
Yeah, I like Lee and Tiffany too. Not that I think they're great hunters, but I think they're great people. I really, you know, I've met them a few times, and I just think that they're just down to earth, nice people.
I look up to Lee Lakosky a lot because he's like he did what I'm doing now a little bit. Like he had a super good job when I did too. He was an engineer. I wasn't an engineer. I'm not that smart, but like he's working a extremely high paying job. And I guess like in one September, they told him he had this new job or something he had to do, and he wasn't going to get a hunt in October. And on October 1st, he came to work, and he was so mad because he wasn't going to get to hunt in October. He just quit and moved to Iowa. Yeah, he just quit. I guess he came home and told Tiffany, he's like, "Hey, you want to move to Iowa?" And she's like, "Well, maybe." And then he's like, "I quit my job." But it's a pretty entertaining story if you could ever find him telling it. But that's how he started.
I was at the Minnesota Deer Classic, and they used to go there every year. And I believe the Classic paid them to go there because they got such a big crowd if they were there.
Yeah.
And they had the line would go down the street and go in the door through where you give the tickets straight to their booth. And then people would be walking around the show. And we're getting paid to be at the show and the amount of DVDs they used to sell, because that was back in the DVD days.
Yeah.
They had to make a fortune at those shows. And everybody that would go by it have a bag with their stuff in it, you know.
Yeah.
But that show, the bathroom was really nasty. It was a sports arena.
Yeah.
And if you walked into the public bathroom for the place for men, it was a trough, and you all stood around looking across at each other while you urinated.
Yeah.
You know? But they gave the vendors a vendors lounge, so you wouldn't have to use those. So you had your own place to go. So the vendors lounge was the locker room for the arena.
Yeah.
So it's where the sports stars went, you know, when they play football or whatever. So you go in there and they have a table set up with coffee and donuts and stuff, and then they got the urinals on the wall. So I go in there and I'm using the urinal, and two fellas come walking in, and the ladies' locker room is across from us, you know, and that's the ladies' exhibitor lounge. These two guys come in, and I recognize them right away. It's her, couple of bouncers that work for her, because she had protection, or, you know, a couple of guys that would just like stand at the guard and make sure that when they came in, like shook her hand or something, they didn't get a little weird.
Yeah.
And they come in here arguing about something. I wasn't really paying much attention, but one of the guys was new or something and did something wrong, and they're arguing. And I'm over peeing, and Tiffany comes walking right in.
Oh, geez.
And I spin my head around, and she goes, "Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Dan." I'm like, "Hi."
Yeah. Awkward.
Finished my job, just got my coffee and left. And I just thought that was weird. I don't think she'd like it too much if I walked into the
women's bathroom. Yeah.
But it really wasn't a bathroom, but it was just they had the
And
urinal
locker room.
wall open. And
Yeah.
it was
That is weird.
I think that's the last time I ever saw her.
She's probably one of the only women around. I mean, especially back in them days. But
yeah, she's a pretty nice girl. I mean, just nice, down to earth kind of, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, I was going to say my pick for best non-beast hunter was going to be Mark Drury. I've listened to him on some stuff. He'll make your head spin about how much he knows about deer and like how.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. Yeah,
really intelligent on stuff. And it obviously shows. I mean, even though, like you said, he's on a managed farm, like he still manages to kill like a couple, few 200-inch deer. And I mean, that's not that easy still.
Yeah, they're not easy to kill anywhere, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's a lot easier where he's at to do something like that than anywhere else. Yeah. However, what people got to remember is, I mean, I don't mind if it's not your style. Like if you're a public land hunter and you're like, well, you know, I'm not taking much from him because of where he's hunting and how he's doing it. I can't really relate to that. I get that. But if you're going to tell me that, you know, you dislike him because of what he's doing or whatever, that kind of bugs me a little wrong, because most people given that situation would just go do that. They'd go hunt there too.
100%.
If they could have that situation and live that life, they would do that too. So don't knock it, you know?
Yeah. And he's also,
you don't have to like it, but don't knock what he's doing, because most people would do that if they had the opportunity.
Yep. And he's also like the amount of sweat equity and time that they put into those places, and it's just like how we scout. They're spending just as much hard work and time doing all that stuff as we do bounce around public land. It's just different, just different ways of going about it. I mean, if I was if I had whatever couple $1 million in the bank, I'd probably, I wouldn't mind having my own place. That'd be cool, for sure. Unfortunately, nowadays, a couple million, you may need a little more than that to get a decent sized place. But
sometimes maybe you're better off not fulfilling your dreams, because the journey's the cool thing.
That's right.
I think I look back and I can really like have some pride in what I've done over the years, and now, I mean, I get a lot of offers to go hunt private land or hunt with outfitters and stuff like that. And, occasionally maybe I might take a guy up, but for the most part, I kind of prefer it the way I'm doing it. And I think if I would have got those offers back when I was younger and first starting out and really eager to prove myself, I think I might have went the wrong path. But I think there's a reason I went down the road I did. And I think I like hunting public land. I like the equal playing field, and that a viewer could go out and hunt the same property I am, and could do the same thing I am doing, and I like that. There's something about it that's appealing, to go out and beat the whole world in their game, and go on the same property everybody else is, but I pull out the king. That doesn't mean I always do it, but there's a feeling when you do that of accomplishment. I believe a guy like Mark probably has the same feeling of accomplishment, but the difference is that, he's accomplished and he built this land. He did this. He put this food plot in. He did this right. He put the stand in the right position, where my accomplishment is beating everybody else, kind of thing. Yeah. It's different, but it's the same.
It's you're making yourself happy. That's all it is. It's just like, it's what he likes. That's what he likes to do. Leave him alone.
It's not apples to apples, and people got to understand it. It's not a competition. Because if it's a competition, the guy with the money always wins.
That's right. Yep. And I've said it before here, but like comparing yourself to those, comparison is the thief of happiness. Like Don't worry about those guys. Make your own decisions and make champion.
There was a guy. God, now if I said his name, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a Dick Idle. Dick Idle.
Okay. Yep.
That guy did not shoot very many deer, and that's what I loved about him back in the day. There weren't a lot of hero hunters back in those days. You know, like the 80s, but he was one of them. I believe he's still alive. I think he makes furniture now or something like that looks like deer, but he might not be. I haven't looked in on him in a lot of years. But Dick Idle would go hunting, and he would take a camera along, and he would take pictures of these incredible deer, but he only wanted to shoot Boone and Crockett deer. He would take pictures of these deer that are like 165 as an 8-pointer. He'd be like, yeah, big enough. You know, it'd be like, wow. You know, and the guy would amaze me that he had so much stamina not to shoot those and didn't even have any desire at all. And he would get onto these absolute giants and travel around looking for them, you know, but he wouldn't kill them. You know, to each their own. You know, what you do and how you get to where you're at. We all got our own goals. We all got our own thing. I mean, like when we go on hunts, I mean, I'm ecstatic when somebody in one of our groups shoots, you know, 100-inch deer or something. But my goal might be a lot higher. But then, you know, say I go up to Michigan or something late season, hunt up there, I might lower my standards just because I want to accomplish something on that hunt. But it doesn't have to be that you're locked into something, some number or some size or some age class or something. You know, I laugh at these guys that say, I only shoot deer that are 5 years old or older. Okay, so a 3-year-old that comes by that's 200 inches, you're not shooting it? Give me a break.
Yeah.
You know, you're just going to lie and say it's 5.
Right. You're probably going to lie, and most of your deer you've shot aren't 5. Like, there's, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people go down that rabbit hole. Not saying everybody does, but there are a lot of people that shoot some 5-year-olds that are probably 3-year-olds.
Correct.
Or 150s that are 130s, which it doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a biologist in Wisconsin who told me that the majority of booners shot are 3 years old. You know, how many 3-year-olds get shot?
Yeah,
you know, in a certain area where the genetics are real well. But I bet you the majority of those people, if they weren't aged by a biologist, think they're shooting older deer.
Yeah,
because you can shoot a 3-year-old that's 60 inches too around here. You know.
Yeah. Right.
Hey everybody. If you like the channel, make sure you subscribe right here. And if you like the clips, I got 2 more options for you. 2 options right here. Subscribe right here. See you guys.